the CEOs of top technology companies will face very hard questions on Capitol Hill next week about the spread of misinformation and their ability to control what is posted. The Capitol siege on January 6 was fueled by false claims of election fraud. Much of the planning also took place online. CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herod shares new exclusive details about Twitter's decision to shut down tens of thousands of accounts linked to the conspiracy theory QAnon.
After rioters pushed their way into the Capitol on January 6th to violently block the Electoral College certification, Twitter now tells CBS News the social media platform purged more than 150,000 accounts associated with QAnon. That's double the number previously reported.
There are folks on one side who say that the platforms are censoring and taking down free speech, and there are others who say that the platforms aren't doing enough.
Alexandra Gibbons leads the Center for Democracy and Technology that promotes laws and policy supporting free speech.
Deciding to remove someone from a social media account does have significant impact on their ability to find other people, to express their views, and to communicate.
You're not going on camera because you have significant security concerns. That's correct.
Senior Twitter officials tracking the QAnon conspiracy theory agreed to speak with CBS News on the condition their identities were protected.
Do you both receive threats?
According to these officials, most of the shuttered accounts belong to Americans, not so-called bots, computer software designed to spread misinformation. Twitter told us they used machine learning and some human review to determine the accounts that violated their coordinated harmful activity policy. After the riots, suspended users were notified and allowed to appeal. The officials said the success rate of appeals was near zero, and they have high confidence in their decisions. Twitter officials said many of the same accounts suspended were first monitored. As early as last July, Twitter began lowering the profile of these accounts based on QAnon content posted, who they interacted with, as well as other online behaviors.
It's one of the tools that platforms are increasingly thinking about as they try to balance this really hard trade-off between the fear of silencing speech, but also mitigating some of the concerns about it.
When does mitigating violence or mitigating speech become censorship?
It's a hard balance to strike.
Should Twitter have done more and done it sooner?
There are a lot of disinformation experts who think that the signs were on the wall and action should have been taken sooner. I think you can imagine that Twitter was struggling with the gravity of the situation.
Twitter used similar tools against Al-Qaeda and ISIS to monitor and limit their terrorist propaganda. Asked if they used the same strategy last summer against Antifa supporters as riots erupted in Seattle and Portland, Twitter said their approach was different.
When the ideology leads someone to...
Pointing to the FBI director's congressional testimony that Antifa is an ideology, not an organization. Twitter officials say they want users to have a, quote, path back to healthy behavior, and their approach is focused on de-radicalization and rehabilitation. Twitter chief Jack Dorsey recently told investors users are increasingly skeptical of his platform.
We agree many people don't trust us. Never has this been more pronounced than the last few years. This isn't just about our actions to promote healthy conversation. It goes broader and deeper.
Asked if they should have done more sooner, a Twitter official said they started taking action as early as 2016, and they tried a variety of enforcement options, but after January 6th, more aggressive steps were needed. On rehabilitation and the role of a social media company, they said it will take outside partnerships. Bottom line, this is about free speech and the intersection with social media. Anthony.
So many tricky questions in this story, Catherine. Thank you.